me up to Nipsey, because when I was stationed out there, that was something we used to do every Sunday, and it was totally changed now. And I'm sure, I guess that helped perpetuate that change that I did see in LA, and I almost cried when I got out there.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, brother. Thank you so much. Let me get let's see. We got a few people. Let's get MAW.
Hey, good afternoon. First of all, thank you for what you are doing here. I'm an attorney, and I'm also a former lobbyist in
Oh, cool.
Washington, D.C. And even though we're kind of focused on getting these folks to resign, um, personally, I think it's much bigger than that. These folks have been making decisions, legislative decisions, even redistricting decisions that affect specifically Black communities. So we're dealing
Yes.
with a power dynamic here that needs what we while we're focused on getting them out of those power chairs, we need to actually review the decisions that have been made that directly impact Black communities in LA.
Right. Right. Now let
That's
me
the
ask you
most,
this. Let
yeah.
me ask you this. Let me ask you this,
Mhm.
brother. As a lawyer, what type of legal ramifications could they possibly face by having a backdoor meeting while they're redistricting? Because sounds like they were literally trying to redistrict the area, or they were planning on redistricting certain areas within that backdoor meeting. What type of legal ramifications are potentially in the air for this?
Well, there's specifically there would be ethical violations. Ethical
Okay.
violations, they're just like criminal and civil have different and varying degrees of penalties.
Right.
Most of those are financial, but there are some that rise to the level of criminal. The issue really is what are the fundamental rights that could have been violated when it comes to representation, etc. These are the issues that we really, really need to understand and really need to get down to, whether they're there or not. The bottom line is that we understand, and I'm from the East Coast. I moved to LA back in 2014, 2015. It was a culture shock for me because what I realized was that the level of racism out there, excuse me, because I'm back on the East Coast, when I say back out in LA, was commensurate and out front more so than it was even down south when it came
Right.
to the Latino community.
Right.
So what the concern is that, and just as a sidebar, because it was the brown community doing it to our community, a lot of what the white community could not get away with, they blatantly got away with unchallenged.
Right.
So in
Right.
this case, we need to just sit back, and yes, we're emotional, but we need to actually sit back and find out what has directly been the impact of this mindset and of whatever they have done, because there is damage. So there's
Yes.
ethical issues for them, but there's also situations that we have to look at, to even as far as redistricting, even how certain investigations, etc. I'm gonna try not to get in trouble here. How certain investigations were even promulgated against Black counselors versus them, because
Right.
there's a Teamsters issue that has to now be dealt with one of these counselors. So this is a mess right now, and this is going to get federal attention, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, indeed, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so
All right.
much. Yeah, this is a heavy situation, man. It's real deep. It's real deep, and Black folks got to be on top of this thing. We have to be on top of this. We really need to, especially my LA people. We need to be pushing for the reparations even harder because of this situation right here. I saw some sisters down there speaking at there was a meeting there yesterday at City Hall, and there were some sisters really breaking it down, talking about the importance of reparations. We need to be thumping that reparations drum real heavy out here in California, in Los Angeles in particular, because what they've done has to be remedied. This has to be remedied financially, because we keep overlooking the financial devastation of this. These people were sitting back here spewing this anti-Black racism, and these people are in charge of a lot of supervisory positions, a lot of resource allocation to different organizations within the community, And we can see why Black Angelenos, Los Angelenos, are being deprived of so many opportunities, so many positions, and so many resources when you have these blatantly bold and open anti-Black racists calling the shots. Do you think these people are going to allocate resources to Black nonprofits or give supervisory positions to Black people working for the city? There's already Black people working for the bus companies. I talked about this before, how they keep getting overlooked for raises, promotions, and supervisor jobs in favor of Latinos who just pop over here overnight. This is the reason why, ladies and gentlemen. This is a deliberate and concerted effort. And that Black and brown stuff that Black folks have been towing for the last 40 years, this is a result. This is the negative fallout for that. Let's get Dynamite.
Hey, Tariq.
Hey, beloved, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. So, of course, I'm LA born and raised. I actually work for the city of LA, and this is just, it's off the chain right now. So, at this point, what I'm realizing I've learned is that since they are elected officials, the mayor cannot fire them. They have to resign, or we
Oh,
have to put the recalls process in motion.
right. That's right. Okay, that's right. That's right. I forgot they are elected officials. We overlooked that too. These are people who were elected into their positions.
Hmm.
Okay.
Right.
So,
So we have to get that in motion because that takes, that's a while, like 6 to 8 months or so for a recall to actually, for it to get on the ballot for us to vote and everything. So we have
yeah,
to get that in motion. But you're absolutely right. These supervisory jobs, I work for the Department of Water and Power.
yeah,
And the tone of that department has changed so much in the 17 years I've worked there. And it's because of who's in power. And we can tell that they've been having these meetings for years. This isn't something that popped up a year ago.
yeah,
So, yeah, we're on it. I'm trying my best to see how we get that recall situation in motion and who to look to for some
yes,
guidance on it.
yes, indeed. Thank you so much, beloved.
All right.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, there would have to be a recall if they don't resign. So they're going to try to sit here and stall everybody out. But look, if these were Black folks doing this, let me tell you something. They would find some kind of loophole somewhere. When it's Black folks, they can find a loophole. Let some Black folks sit up here disparaging another race of people. They'd dust off some loophole somewhere and have them out of there by tomorrow morning. They would have been half the Black people out. When it comes to us, boy, they know how to find a loophole out of nowhere. They always say, well, when judges makes this, when a judge makes a decision, the decision is final and all of that stuff, and the law is the law. They say that unless it's a Black judge. Remember when Olu Stevens was saying, hey, y'all need to diversify this jury. There's a jury here, and y'all got a bunch of white people on the jury. The jury needs to reflect the community because there were some Black people on trial, and they had an all-white jury. So he went and made them regroup and get another jury. Boy, you had all of these other secret, shadowy organizations coming out reprimanding Judge Olu Stevens out of Kentucky. So now there are people who can override judges now that we didn't know about. You see what I'm saying? When it's Black people, all of a sudden there's some little secret organization that just pops up out of nowhere that can override judges, they can override senators, they can override public officials. You see? Let me get we've got a lot of folks in here. Let me get the Pan Af report. Let me get him in here. And I see you, Randy Short. I'll get you on in a second, brother. The Pan Af report. What's going on, brother? You can turn your microphone on, sir. There you go.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's going on,
Oh,
fam?
brother, I just want to say because I went down there just like you, and I think the grassroots, the people on the ground level, we got to get out there more. It wasn't the people that looked like us down there. I mean, I heard people talking all type of stuff down there.
Yeah,
So I don't know
yeah, yeah.
people
Yeah,
down
when I
there
went, I
because
went
I don't.
down by there yesterday. I was out there yesterday for a quick second, and it looked like a Cinco de Mayo celebration. I was confused. I'm like, what's going on? I didn't know what was happening. So,
I was down there, and
going.
I mean, they was talking about rent and Spanish and all type of shit. I said, For them to have said this about black people and about what they're doing in us, you know, in power positions, we wasn't out there enough.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, the black folks in LA, thank you, brother. The black folks in LA need to really be on top of this. We really need to be on top of this thing. Let's get Dr.